It's a cascade of creativity as we converse on the curated contenders clashing for the Kinderspiel des Jahres award in this episode of Little Big Thumbs. Did you know that Spiel des Jahres means Game of the Year in German? It's also the name of the most highly anticipated board game awards in the entire hobby board gaming world. It's like the Oscars for board games, except without the red carpet and all of the fancy gowns and tuxedos. Those Spiel des Jahres nominees, the Game of the Year, as well as the Kinderspiel, the more complicated game category, and Kinderspiel, the children's game category, those nominees were just recently announced, which makes for one of the most exciting times of the year for us board game enthusiasts as we make our picks and place our bets on which of these games are going to be claiming those coveted awards. Today, our focus is going to be on those Kinderspiel nominees as we hunt to find our next Golden Thumb winner. That's our own award we use to celebrate games that are equally amazing for both little players and big players. Now, the Kinderspiel Award, this is like a shining beacon to parents and guardians everywhere, letting them know that this one game is going to be a fantastic pick for their little gamers. It's got to be as easy to understand as counting cookies and as fun as a tickle fight with a giggly octopus. Behind the scenes, a committee of game gurus, including educators and journalists, they all gather together to select the creme de la creme of kiddie games for that year. They discuss whether a game inspires joy, how much interaction it offers, and whether it's educational without being as boring as a bowl of Brussels sprouts. Each year, this jury nominates a short list of 3 games, as well as sharing a longer list of recommended games. Previous Kinderspiel winners in our own collection include Spooky Stairs from 2004, Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters from 2014, Hedgehog Roll from 2020, and Dragomino from 2021. And there are many more Kinderspiel winners just sitting on our wish list, just waiting for their turn to join our personal game collection. Now, before we run down this year's nominees for the Kinderspiel, I do want to give a shout out to one of the games that made it onto this year's recommended list, and that is Turtle Splash, which is published in North America by Lucky Duck Kids and elsewhere in the world by Gigamon. This is a delightful game of dexterity and memory that we covered here on Little Big Thumbs back in 2022. Just a fantastic game for adults and kids to enjoy together. Highly recommend asking for this one at your local game store and checking it out. And now, with that being said, let's go take a look at the nominees for the 2023 Kinderspiel des Jahres Award. Let's go. Our first nominee is called Carla Caramel, and this is from the delightful designer Sarah Zarian, who previously brought us Monsieur Carousel, both of which are published by Loki. This is a cool game of scooping and serving ice cream cones. And not only that, but the game box itself actually transforms into an ice cream stand itself. And anytime a game adds that sort of three-dimensional aspect, I'm going to be all ears and eyes, and in this case, maybe even taste buds. Carla Caramel is a cooperative game for 1 to 6 players, ages 4 and up. And in this game, we're going to be rolling a die, and that die will tell us whether we are going to be scooping up those tasty treats, serving them to the kiddos waiting in line, or if we are not lucky, watching as the sun rises up and melting our tasty treats before they wind up in the tummies of our Timmies. The goal of the game is super simple. That is to deliver the cones to all of the kiddos waiting in line. However, if the sun melts 2 of those cones before we serve them up, then it's going to be back to the drawing board, or maybe the scooping board. Just like Monsieur Carousel before it, Carla Caramel is going to be fantastic fun, particularly for younger players. But let's face it, regardless of our age, the sheer joy of scooping ice cream knows no bounds. And let's not forget about the fantastic artwork in this game, which comes from Apolline Etienne, who has illustrated so many of the games that we love, particularly several of the games from our friends at Kids Table Board Gaming. And in this case, Apolline again has captured the spirit of this atmosphere just so delightfully. Now, why do we think that Carla Caramel has what it takes to take home the Kinderspiel this year? Well, of the 3 games nominated, this is the one that scales to the youngest age range, and also it's the game with the widest player count. So if the jury is looking for a game that is accessible to the most possible players of almost any age, then Carla Caramel might be scooping up the victory. Our second nominee is called Gigamon, or Gigamons, depending on who you're asking, and this is a game that actually made its first appearance way back in the year 2014, but it didn't see a German printing until 2022. And you see, a game isn't actually eligible for a Spiel des Jahres nominee until it sees a printing in the land of the sauerkrauts and pretzels. Now, several years ago, Blue Orange Games actually did bring this game to the North American audience, but right at this moment, it's not available, at least not here in Canada, through traditional retail distribution channels. But who knows, if it wins the Kinderspiel award, it might wind up bursting back onto the scene like a party-popping piñata. Gigamon takes the traditional classic memory game and sprinkles some special powers over it and packages it all on this sort of Pokemon-themed treasure hunt. Picture, if you will, a 3x3 grid of tiles, and each turn one player is going to be flipping over 2 of those tiles to try to find a match. If they do find a match, they get to keep those tiles and trigger that Gigamon's special ability. But if they don't find a match, they just get flipped face back down and return to just being plain old sneaky tiles. If a player collects 3 pairs of matching Gigamon tiles, they take that Gigamon into their possession as their own. And as soon as one player collects 3 Gigamons, they win the game and become the ultimate champion of this magnificent memory game. Why do we think that this game has the potential to take the Kinderspiel crown? Well, memory games with a twist have been on the rise for several years, and this one in particular has, with the special powers, really stands out from the pack. It's got this adorable presentation, it's an approachable game to learn, it is accessible to a wide group of players without leaving older players feeling left out from that kid-friendly experience. My main question here is whether its limited availability outside of Germany will restrict its appeal as an award-winning game to the jury. And that's a mystery we are all just going to have to wait to find out. Mysterium Kids, Captain Echo's Treasure is the final nominee of the 2023 Kinderspiel des Jahres Awards. This is a cooperative deduction game for 2 to 6 players, ages 6 and up. And folks in this game are going to be unraveling mysteries and hunting for hidden treasures. In each round of this game, one player is going to be playing as a ghost, giving clues to the other players. But the twist here is that those clues are being given through the sounds of a tambourine, while the other players are listening to those clues with their eyes closed. If the players can match those tambourine sounds to clue cards on the haunted house boards, they will earn reward tiles, which will determine how well the team does at the very end of the game. Everyone gets at least one chance to be the ghost and play around with that tambourine communication. The turns are quick, and there's lots of verbal communication, except with the ghost player, and engagement throughout this game, which is just so much fun for kids and adults to play together. So why might Mysterium Kids be the one to take home this year's Kinderspiel award? Well, that auditory clue-giving aspect of the game is truly one of a kind, and if the jury wants to honor and reward a game for bringing something really unique to the table, then I can easily see why Mysterium Kids might be this year's prize winner. So there you have it. Those are the 3 games vying for the Kinderspiel des Jahres award. The jury's going to have a tough choice on their hands, but before they make their choice, we'd love to know what game you're placing your bets on. Let us know in the comments of this video. Do you think the winner is going to be Mysterium Kids? Is it going to be Gigamon? Or is it going to be Carla Caramel? Let us know in those comments so we can chat about it together. Personally, if I were on the jury, I think my vote might be going towards Mysterium Kids. I just love that tambourine aspect to that game. But we'll find out soon enough, and it could be any one of these three games. And when the decision comes down, we'll make sure to discuss it together here as a community. And until next time, whether you've got little players or big players, make sure that you keep playing games that make your thumbs go way